I don't know why this doesn't go automatically, but we're going to double check to make sure it is rolling. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh, yeah. Got it. Okay, that's going. This is going. Boom, bam, beam, bam, boom, bam. Jackson, take it away.
What's up? And hello, summer. I love it.
Yes.
We are officially into summer 2026 in the Northern Hemisphere. And you know what? Southern California set it off proper like with that massive south swell, probably the biggest swell y'all have had in about 10 years. Lit up spots like the Wedge and Salt Creek. God, I wish I could have been out there.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you, it was as amazing as you made it sound. The sun's out right now, and when we have waves in the ocean, nothing is better.
Dude, there's just the kinetic energy all around. You feel it out in the water, you feel it in the air. It's like electric. It makes the hair on your arm stand up, gives you chicken skin, and you can't wait to get out there.
I
And
mean, I always throw on Will Smith's song, The Fresh Prince, got Summertime. That's my favorite.
not a bad one. For me personally, it also ties into my shout out today, Dirty Black Summer by Danzig.
Oh,
And
damn.
And being is which, my shout out this week, not that he's going to hear this or ever know about it, but my shout out goes out to Glenn Danzig, the legendary frontman for the Misfits, Sam Hain, and his metal band Danzig. He turned 71 years old today. Born and raised in Lodi, New Jersey.
What?
Yep.
He's a Jersey
And
boy.
he's a Jersey boy. And you know what? When you talk about music in New Jersey, people automatically think of like Bruce Springsteen, Bon Jovi, the more pop-oriented people think of Whitney Houston. For me, first and foremost, Glenn Danzig. So, his music always gets me fired up, whether I'm listening to Am I Demon, Long Way Back from Hell, Dirty Black Summer. I mean, his first three albums are fucking legendary. They came out on Deaf American Records, produced by Rick Rubin. And the rest was history.
I love
So,
it. Right on.
so that's where I'm at with, the intro and shout outs today. What you got, brother?
Well, for the shout outs, I think about it about 5 minutes before we go live, I'll be honest. But you sent me the video of the week a few minutes ago as well. And I'm gonna give my shout outs to the video, the person in the video, because without
Spoiler
him,
alert.
yes, it is. But I got to give shout outs to the guy who made my life freaking shitty on multiple occasions, but also gave bodyboarding the character that we needed and we love to this day. Chad Barba. Chad Barba is an icon when it comes to big waves, the wedge, and just seeking out big barrels. And he was ahead of his time. He was doing maneuvers that were very flowing and doing maneuvers that people weren't seeing at the time, and then put a check mark on big waves. So Barba was able to style his way into long, deep barrels. But I'd like to tell a quick story on that motherfucker. We were on a trip down in mainland Mexico and we were sharing a room. I don't know what, I think we went out to go get tacos or something. And I opened the door. This is back in the day when I was able to, you know, bring this velvet blanket from home because it was my blanket. And I had my Doritos and my tuna that I made tuna sandwiches with tuna and Doritos. And that was my sandwich. I think Joe Grodson introduced me to that and it was delicious. But so I get back from lunch, I walk in the door and Chad Barba, not only is he eating my tuna and my Doritos, but his dirty ass monkey feet were wrapped in my velvet blanket that I sleep with and put my face in. I lost my shit. I freaking yelled at him. I was ready to punch him, but so he said nothing. And I was just like so pissed, so pissed. I was wanted to fucking kick his ass. And then he threw out the G word. God will forgive you. I'm like, you motherfucker. You can't freaking you can't do all this bullshit in your life and then say that word and think everything's going to be all right. That's like doesn't work that way. Um so and then he spent like 10 minutes talking about how God and Jesus, God, like he just went into this whole freaking, you know, whatever it was, but it was religious backed by religion and God and Jesus. And I just like, I was so irate that day. And, but the next day he's out there just freaking crushing it like he does. And we all got photos and had a great time on that trip. But that one incident is burned into my memory, but it also made me, you know, think too and empathize with those types of situations and people and when it comes to those situations. But yeah, so my shout out goes to Barba, even though you freaking rolled your dirty ass feet in my blanket. I still love you, brother.
All right. So with that said and done, let's roll right into bodyboarding news. And this week, I got a couple of contests that I want to touch upon that are coming up. Again, we already highlighted the Pasquale's Bodyboard Pro coming up July 3rd and July 9th on the IBC World Tour. I cannot wait to see this event. You know, for Mexico is an ultimate destination for testing wave riders and competition. And it's been off the schedule for a while now. To be able to bring back competitive bodyboarding on the world tour at a spot like Pasquale's, I cannot wait to see this event go down. Um, I mean, we were both talking about this with a lot of animated, enthusiasm.
No, I agree. I've been waiting for something similar to what happened in Puerto Escondido back during the IBA days, and this could be that time because Pasquale's is I'm not joking. A 2 foot whitewash will send you back to the beach. It is so powerful. And if these guys and women, I don't know what divisions are available there, but if they get waves in anything above 6 feet, hold on to your hats because it's going to be carnage for sure. This place is no joke. Barrels are going to be perfect. The the conditions, if they come together, is going to be a spectacle. Definitely do not miss it.
For me, this is a major step forward schedule-wise for the IBC World Tour. And yeah, $25,000 prize purse on the line for the men's, $5,000 prize purse on the line for the junior men's.
Yeah,
So,
we should yeah, we should reach out to the organizer and just get some feedback and some thoughts from what how it came about because I would love to know and what to expect from the event itself.
all right. And the second piece of news, the second event I want to touch on, it has just been confirmed that the Cave Rock Invitational is returning for 2026 in Durban, South Africa. It's slated for, let me double check the dates, July 17th through 19th. So you know what? Just like that, there's a couple of major international events going down in July. You want to talk about fireworks.
Yes, is that sanctioned by the World Tour or is it a standalone event?
No, that's a standalone invitational event. But regardless, Cave Rock, when it's good, absolutely goes off. I've
And
never
it's
been
one
there in person, but I've seen the event in years past.
it's essentially it's essentially almost a duplicate of Shark Island. It's a slab right barreling slab, super shallow reef, and you got to know how to ride it. I mean, not anybody can go out there and get, a perfect barrel. You have to know where to sit. You got to know how the water's moving. And when it's big, it's heavy and it is dangerous. So that's going to be another. Is that going to be a broadcast live? Do we know?
I'm pretty certain it's going to be broadcast live. They've just started posting information on their Instagram page, Cave Rock Invitational, and I will definitely be staying tuned. Um, On a side note, I'm a firm believer that South Africa really should have an event on the world tour. I know there's specialty events like Cave Rock and Tans where, the wave might not be the most consistent spot to have a world tour event. But you've got a few years ago they had the Walker Bay Pro. I would love to see the World Tour return to South Africa, expand its boundaries, and make it more of an international World Tour.
Yeah, that would be pretty amazing if they can get some dialed in there. I mean, Cape Town has a ton of good waves, and Durban has a ton of good waves, and they have the facilities. It's just a matter of somebody stepping up. So who knows? This could be the start of something new.
Yeah, and you know what? I'd love an excuse to travel to South Africa. I've had an open invitation to visit there for years, and I have yet to take up the invite.
Do we know if Mumbles is a part of the cave rock?
Haven't heard any mention of Mumbles thus far, but yeah, love Mumbles any way, shape, or form we can get them on involved with an event.
Yeah, that'd be. I'll reach out to him, see what he knows, and if he is involved.
All right, so that's my news for this week.
Uh, yeah, I'm just gonna repeat of what I've been saying. And Mazatlan Freak Fest, it's gonna have a little bit of that Freak Fest flavor going down in May in Mazatlan, Mexico. And I am going to put that bodyboarding trip to Indonesia together probably in the second week of June. So that's pretty much it as far as bodyboarding news on my end. It's just a couple trips that I'm going to be organizing for 2027. So, and yes, Cabo Freak Fest will be there too. That's a staple. So that's not going anywhere. And yeah, so that's the news on my end.
All right, so that rolls us right into the aforementioned video of the week.
Ooh.
Yes, I'm throwing it back this week. Um, it actually popped up on my Facebook timeline. And I was like, oh, this is a perfect day to throw it back because we just got into summer. Wedge just went off, had its best swell in 10 years. And Chad Barba, you know, Charger, Hellman, regulator in the lineup, you know, and this is from Scotty Carter's, you know, on the inside, classic bodyboarding video. If you've never seen it, you need to track it down and watch it. I mean, back in the 90s, the Scotty Carter films were right there at the top of the list of videos that got rewatched constantly on summer flat days. If we weren't hanging at the beach or wake surfing the Narrows, me and my boys back home in New Jersey, um, or cruising around checking out the local surf shops, we were hunkered down in somebody's air-conditioned house, watching, studying, analyzing, you know, countless bodyboard videos. And, Scotty Carter's videos are right there towards the top of the list. And, always fascinated by Barbara. He always seemed like the ultimate badass in bodyboarding.
Totally. This video, I think it's 4 minutes long, 5 minutes long. So,
I'll put it this way. Back in the 90s, when I was much, much younger, I was fascinated with two guys that, could play the enforcer no problem out in the lineup, and I would never fuck with if you were smart. Chad Barba, Kainoa McGee. Don't ever piss those guys off. Because you know what? They will put you in check without a second thought. And that's not a bad thing. If anything, in this day and age, lineups need more enforcers because there's too many random, weekend warriors paddling out, causing chaos in the lineups and sending people to the emergency room.
all
The-
right, let's check this out. Let's
All right, let's get into it, brother.
all right. Let me make sure our audio is solid. Share computer sound. Yes. And let's see what we got. Give me a thumbs up if we got friend.
We got audio.
We have audio. All right. I don't have audio on my end, but oh my gosh. But we can commentate on it. So this is like one of those guys that will go and hunt out perfect waves. And there was a story going around. I don't know if it's true or not. That he was living in a cave up in the Pacific Northwest, and he found a wave that he found all by himself. He's one of those guys that if he finds a slab, he's totally okay riding it by himself. Trying to figure out where this wave is. I want to say it's Mexico. Well, obviously that's the wedge there. Beautiful. And that's what I mean. He was not only hitting the lip on the bigger stuff, but he was pulling off big lip maneuvers. Is there music playing in the background? I don't hear it.
Yeah, we got some nice mellow reggae vibes going on right now.
Oh, that sounds about right. Scotty Carter style. But Barba was doing these little slide moves on takeoffs at wedge where he was able to, keep that rail engaged. That wave looks familiar. That looks like our wave down in outside of Ensenada. Oh my gosh, and that was the thing. Like, he had no shame of like just going for it, and it didn't matter what or how he ended up in that position. He just wanted to do that. Oh my gosh. And his boards were pretty similar to that of Ben Severson. Not as drastic a teardrop as Guilherme, but he did like those wide nose boards and like a semi teardrop. The wide point was pretty high up. But he did not like the fame. He was not out looking to go get photos, looking to go get in the magazines. It just happened. And I don't think he didn't care if he was well known or not. He just wanted to go ride big hits.
Yeah, but in doing that, he became the ultimate Visto rider. He became a living legend, a myth.
Yep.
When the waves got big, Barba showed up and then disappeared into the ethos.
Yeah, I mean, Barba, like Roach, I believe, were those bodyboarders that needed a manager. They needed an agent to handle all the behind-the-scenes affairs. So all they had to worry about is riding waves. Get a photographer, pay for the photographer or videographer to follow them around and let them ride. That's the Barba. That is the Roach. Porto Escondido.
That's massive.
It was massive. Yeah, he was not afraid to hit the lip. He did love Porto Escondido because it offered up, back in the 90s, it was just perfection. Ton of peaks up and down the beach, but between Porto Escondido and the wedge, like he was in heaven. 1995, sounds about right.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but this day and age, Chad Barba doesn't get talked about nearly enough. I mean, there's probably a lot of next-gen bodybuilders right now from the current generation that don't know nearly enough about Chad Barba.
I totally agree. And to sit down with him and get an interview and just chat with him is nearly impossible. Like you would have to have your phone or something on you if the time came where he says, "Yeah, let's chat for a minute." There's no time to go set up a podcast, go set up the microphone, go set up the video cameras, because he will disappear as quickly as he showed up. So if you ever get the opportunity to, have a chat with him, it's got to be on the fly. It's got to be impromptu, and it's got to be quick because he doesn't like to sit in one place for too long.
Now, just out of curiosity, you don't happen to have any Chad Barba photos in the Aaron Lloyd collection, do you?
That is a great question. You would know. You and I went through the whole collection.
It was a while ago. I don't recall seeing anything, but I can't help but wonder.
You know, again, Barba is one of those elusive writers. If he ends up in front of your camera, you shoot. Aaron Lloyd, he was a boot camp, professional photographer. Y- y- if those two met, it would have been by coincidence again, because Barba wasn't that person who was regimented on trying to get in the magazine or trying to
I
get
was I was keeping that in
exposure.
mind, but I had to ask.
Yeah,
You know,
but you never
I
know.
I can't help but wonder if at any point they did happen to cross paths, if Aaron Lloyd was able to get a couple of shots before Barbara disappeared again. But
That would be insane.
yeah, I mean, Barbara was legendary for that. Like I said, I never met the guy, never had the chance to ride with him, but just the stories in the magazines. I mean, I remember seeing photos of Seal Beach going off, and the article was titled Spot X. You
Yeah.
know, it was kept under wraps, heavy locals. But when it got big there, Barbara showed up and was just pulling into these massive pits. And, just the stories in the magazines about him showing up, blowing up, and gone like the wind, grew the legend.
I know. And I still don't know how he did it to this day on how I think BZ paid for a lot of his trips. But the last time I saw him was at a gas station in Dana Point, where near Laguna. And I think he was trying to sell a pair of Vipers for money. And that was the last. I take it back. There was something going on over by the Custom X factory. There was a get together. Was there an after party or something after Maury's? He showed up there. I think I don't know what he was doing there, but he showed face and he was only there for a little bit and bailed. But he is out and around. So we
The
need to,
ultimate Irish goodbye. Show up,
totally,
quietly make your exit.
totally.
Gotta love it.
AC43 is chiming in. Thanks for letting us know. The video was a little high, but all good. We saw it was more about the action. But yeah, so Barba, definitely somebody we would love to have on Book Life just for a small chat. What would we ask him is the question. I won't bring up the story where that bastard frickin' wrapped his dirty feet into my blanket, but I'm sure there's a
Let it go.
I can't let it go. I was so pissed. That was probably the most pissed off I've been to that point. But we'll talk to him more about, wave
Trust me,
hunting.
I can relate. You know, I've said for many years now, and I'm always a firm believer in this, that you get a really good read on people when you travel with them and when you're able to sit down and share a meal with them. You learn real quick, you know, who, who you can count on and who you can count on to give you a headache or get you in trouble.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I love
So,
Chad. There's just a couple incidences where I'm like, bastard. So
you know what? He's going to show up in your back seat like the boogeyman and get you for saying that. All right, so that brings us to this week's weekly motivation. And being as how it's We just passed the summer solstice and we're getting into summer now officially. I wanted something summer oriented, and I came up with this. It's from 19th century American writer Ralph Waldo Emerson. Live in the sunshine, swim in the sea, drink in the wild air. With that said, that's a wrap on episode 347. We'll see you all next week. And episode 348, slowly but steadily working towards episode 360. I'll check you later.